Everyone loves the guy who opens the show talking about his fantasy team. So just as we do this second half together, I'm in a playoff sweat where it's like a dead heat tie, maybe a point difference. I've got CeeDee Lamb and the Cowboys defense against Jordan Addison. Got about a point lead right now. So that's my ongoing sweat as we watch this together.
You were
It's
really sweating that long catch in the first half then.
yeah, when he went down to like the one or the two there, that was a um I was pissed that old Christian Watson got hurt on me. Got pissed that Jackson Dart didn't perform better today. But it's all right. We're here. We're in it. And CD with a chance to win it for us. Hopefully, JJ McCarthy is one who wins it for us. But
Yeah, I
that's
captained
that's what
Javonte
we're
Williams.
watching tonight.
Yeah, I got captain Javonte
Yep.
Williams, so I felt really good early and then not good.
Yeah. I got crushed today in DFS, but that's not what we're here to talk about. Regardless, I mean it's a college football playoff week, man. It's crazy that you texted me yesterday and were like bowl game tonight, and I was like bowl game tonight.
Yeah.
I was like, I know the Celebration Bowl's happening right now. Bowl game tonight.
Yeah, we ended up getting a double. They had a double OT game. I was watching the Villanova game. That was pretty good. Army Navy delivered as usual. I had a lot of Heidenreich that worked out good. Denzel Boston just dominated people, so that was solid. Except for Jonah Coleman gave me the blade. That's kind of where I died, was playing too much Adam Muhammad, which let me down. But what are you going to do? You move on. You got another game on Tuesday. You get Troy, Jack State, and I was right about Malik Sherrod. I'm going to give myself credit on that. He got more than enough opportunity at 4%. I was very happy where I put my money in. I was just not happy where it came out. So that's the way it goes. You can't do too much about that. But then I'm excited for the big games coming up this week. I get to see my team play in the playoff. We actually were talking about this the other day. JMU, I ripped a guy at work. He said something about a losing season or whatever. And I was like, buddy, I haven't had a losing season since I was there. Like, we didn't have a losing season I believe it's 2002 or 2003 is the last losing season for JMU. And they've had a big come up when you think about it. Cause I realized it when I was watching that Nova game. Cause I'm like, 5 years ago, we were playing Villanova in a playoff game, like on this little TV and early in this spot. And now it's Tarleton State playing Villanova. And you look at it now, and we're playing Oregon next week in the college football playoff. We're 40-10 since joining the FBS at this point. Like, I don't care what conference you're in, to go 40-10 after moving up is special, if nothing else. And I honestly don't care if we lose by 50. I'm perfectly content with the fact that we made it. And I'm happy I got a playoff hoodie coming in that y'all will end up seeing on this show eventually. And it's going to be, it's just special. It's a special moment. I was ecstatic when we made a bowl game. And now, to be in the college football playoff, you can't rewrite it. And Sunbelt Billy already has this thing going. I'm ecstatic. Yeah. So here's the thing they talk about. So we started playing football in 1972. We won our first conference championship in 1999, and then moved up in 2022. And we're in the college football playoff. Think about that. Think about that from a growth standpoint, that we've only had football for 53 years.
I was watching the Boise State game last night and kept thinking, why can't JMU just be Boise State? Like, why can't, like, there's no reason they can't be.
Yeah, and Billy, what's funny is Billy is really peeved off the entirety of sorry, we're going into JMU talk, but I can't help it.
You've got it, I guess, at this point, and we'll start there. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, Billy, he's really peeved off the Florida fan base, because the two main things they hated is he didn't kind of say, this is the last job I'll ever want to have.
And he wouldn't give away the play calling?
Yep, and that's the first two things he said in his introductory press conference. I could see myself retiring here, and I'm not going to call plays. Cool. Like, we signed up for this, Billy, and his contract is 500K base, so it's nothing. He was making 2 mil at ULL, and it's a 500K base with a 500K in bonuses. And if he hits the bonuses, he has the option to donate it to the NIL collective, which they've also promised to triple the NIL. So we're going to lose Sahir West. We're going to lose a bunch of guys to the portal. That's the life of being where we're at. But look, the bottom line is it's going to come down. Let's start with breaking down that game specifically. We're a 21.5 point dog. I'd be pumped to cover that spread. Like, period. Their run game is tough. It's going to be a tough travel just to get to Eugene. It's a very hard place to get to. It's very tight stadium, on top of you, loud. It's one of the loudest stadiums in the country. Massive respect for that fan base. They're going to be able to run the football. We're going to need Emmanuel Bush, the defensive tackle. He's going to have to play. If he doesn't play, we're going to struggle. It's just, this is a very talented team. There's levels to this game, and I fully expect to lose by 30. I don't think Alonzo Barnett has the capability against this type of defense. This, honestly, to me, is a top 5 defense when fully healthy. And if they get Decory and Moore back, they get Evan Stewart back, that's potentially in the cards. I'd be extremely nervous to get run out of the building for sure.
Yeah, my question is for Oregon is going to be: do they look better than they have looked? That I feel like they have looked for a majority of the season. Do those pieces coming back make that happen? Like you said, there are levels to this. I mean, JMU isn't exactly ready to step in to face a perennial top 5, top 10 program like Oregon, but I would not be surprised, given the way Oregon has kind of felt this season, if JMU is able to just stay in it, if this thing can get real tight and anxious into the third. If they can get into halftime in the ball game, tied, something like that, I can see Oregon getting very nervous about the position they're in very quickly. And that being one of the disadvantages of being the home team in these games.
Yeah. Oh no, I 100% agree. It's actually interesting if you look at the they have a lot of lines out for this game. I would say I would agree with you. I would probably take JMU plus the 13.5 in the first half. And then I would probably like Oregon to cover the second half in total points. Sorry, I'm looking at these. I actually am excited about this. They have a JMU total rushing yards. I'm pretty sure sacks will count against that. So 115.5 for our total rushing. That feels heavy. I don't know that Wayne Knight's going to be able to get loose. I know Knight's good there. I'm just worried about those second half sacks personally. That would be my biggest concern. It's very interesting. I think it's an interesting game. I just, like I said, I mainly worry about how Alonzo Barnett is able to move the ball through the air and how consistent he could be, because we really do not have a great weapon on the outside by comparison to when we had Elijah Surratt and some of these other very good wide receivers that we've had in the past 10 years even.
Whatever happened to him?
Yeah, him, I don't know, Aiden Fisher, D'Angelo Pons, Mikhail Kamara, they all won a Big Ten championship, and they're the 1 seed in the playoff, waiting to see who they get to play next, because they got a ways to go. So their future opponent is Alabama, Oklahoma. And I think that's a hell of a good game.
Well, so the first time they played, right, Alabama was the better of the two teams for all intents and purposes, right? Outgained them by quite a bit, outplayed them, but turned the ball over, which is certainly something you can't do. The question there becomes, what in the holy hell has Alabama been for the last 6 weeks,
Yeah.
half the season here. I mean, Ty Simpson's look bad. You were very early on. Ryan Williams isn't the best wide receiver in his own team. Might not even be the third best receiver or second best receiver in his own team. Um, you know, they I don't know what I'm getting from Alabama, but I know exactly what I'm getting from Oklahoma, and I don't think I like that either.
Yeah, Oklahoma's spam button, like their get out of jail free card, is Isaiah Satania. Just hit him at will and hope that he breaks it. That's kind of what they've done. I like Bama minus the 1.5 to get it done, but then get just blown out in the next round. I think it's a
Get beat
low
by Indiana
scoring
by
game.
40.
Yeah, I think it's a low scoring game. Uh, I really wish Vandy was in this spot because I'd like Vandy more than Alabama. I just think Alabama's playing awful, but Oklahoma's not exactly doing anything on offense that makes you feel good about it. And R. Mason Thomas is highly questionable for this one. Chance he suits up. They're going to need him to suit up, or else they're going to be in deep stuff. But like you said, in the first matchup, Bama lost but dominated the game is what I would call it. They somehow lost that game even though they shouldn't have.
At home.
Yeah, I think you just take Bama and say Bama's probably winning this one, even though you got to think Venables has done a good enough job. You just wish John Mateer did something more. He kind of just has never recovered from the hand issue.
Yeah.
And Jaden Ott has pulled a full disappearing act since he won Offensive Player of the Year the 1 year.
The Mateer thing has been it's been interesting, right? Because I've been waiting for him to progressively get healthy. Like you just expected him to get better. That's my one concern with this. They'd be 3 weeks between games here, where the potential is, I guess, for him. Does 3 weeks of rest actually make him better? Is this a timeline where he really should have originally returned? What does that hand look like? But I know the big trend in the NFL betting this week was teams that had lost to division opponents, that were road favorites, the Ravens, the Bills this week as well. This is another one of those scenarios, I guess, where like Bama was favored the first time, lost at home. Now they go on the road, favored again. I'm on the Bama side of this, though. I don't really like either team. I don't really want to really touch this thing. I'm with you. I feel like it's a certain low scoring game. What even is the number here? It's got to be like 41.
It's 40.5. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I could see like 13-10 here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, neither team has a run game. That's the thing. Neither team runs the football at all. They're terrible and not adept whatsoever at it. I'm super interested in this Miami A&M game.
I think this is the best game of the weekend by a large chunk. Personally, I've been rather heavy-handed with I don't buy Texas A&M. I think Miami is a better football team. I thought Miami should have been in the playoff in the beginning. I told you 2 months ago, and in October, I said I know Miami is good. Then they lost the next 2 games or 2 out of 3, whatever it was, and I was like, boy, this is embarrassing. The moment I said I know they're good, here we are. But they've certainly rebounded and started punching teams in the mouth. The spam button for them being Malachi Toney is, I mean, a great tactic because he's really freaking good.
Yeah, I think I'm interested to see what his price is in DFS, to be honest with you, because I think he might just be the jam of the week. I don't know what to make of this game for the simple fact that I think both lines of scrimmage are very good on both sides. Like the trenches in the trench matchup is going to be awesome to watch. I don't think either running back is any particular difference maker. Mark Fletcher's good back, not great. Reuben Owens, good back, not great. I think both quarterbacks are super flawed, and they both have good weapons. So Tony's the best weapon on the field. Casey Concepcion, the second best. Craver, the third best. I'd argue Ashton Bethel Roman's probably the fourth best. I'm just not a CJ Daniels guy. You know this. I've said this for 2 years since he came over from Liberty. I just am not a CJ Daniels guy. But I think A&M gets a ton of pressure, or has the capability to put pressure on Carson Beck, and Carson Beck is prone to turn it over when he's under pressure. I'm just curious. I think Keelan Marion's actually the second best wide receiver on that team. They just don't use him enough. But man, that's a fun game. I would be hesitant to bet either team because I don't trust either quarterback whatsoever.
Well, I think the other thing that Miami's done well of late was getting Pringle more involved
Mhm.
instead of trying to just ram Fletcher up the middle like 30 times a game, using Pringle and having better that direction. Does it actually look fantastic for that game or no? The weather? Do we
Yeah, it
know?
should. It's in A and it's in Texas. It's a little
Yeah.
cold.
Well, I
Little
mean, if it was in
cold.
Miami, it'd probably be a little better. Oh yeah, I
Well,
see
yeah.
that 70 degrees, sun's out. Yeah, that looks great.
I mean, yeah, and it's an
Yeah.
11 o'clock kick in local. I mean, I think everybody is very mad at the fact that like the best game is the
Is
11 a.m.
11
start
a.m. kick.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one point I'd make on that that I think could matter is I believe A&M's only other early kick this season
South Carolina.
was the South Carolina game, and they came out, I mean, just asleep at the wheel for that one.
Yeah.
Obviously, they stormed back and won, but if we're looking at past history and maybe a trend here, this was only what, maybe a month ago, 3 games ago for them. Same kind of situation here. Early start at home. Curious what they look like.
I wonder if that's an over at 51.5. It does feels like it's got a good shot to go over, even though both teams
Well, if you're
very
in a place where
dominant.
you can get a defensive score, I think I could see a defensive score in that
Oh,
one.
yeah, I think both teams could score on defense. A&M more likely, probably from a pick six status, but yeah, a quarterback to throw an interception, highly likely in this one. Let me tell you.
Yeah. So here's the last one that we haven't talked about yet, and I am just beyond perplexed with what to expect from this game. You've got two teams whose coaches have left, one coach who has left, one who is double dutying. Obviously, Ole Miss beat the mess out of Tulane, not but what, 8 weeks ago, 10 weeks ago at this point. Um, the thing that I can't quite figure out is what in the hell that Ole Miss football team is going to look like, because you have an offensive coaching staff that has been out of the building, has boarded the plane, flown to Baton Rouge, everyone except the running back coach, and left the program, and then sauntered back in to be like, "We're here, guys. We're going to coach this playoff game together," without the head coach who's been kind of leading the whole thing. But we're all back. I know Charlie's the play caller there and everything, but for all intents and purposes, the head coach is now out of the equation. What does that look like from just a coaching mechanics? When Charlie Wise Jr. says, "I'd like to go for this," does Pete back him? Does he? No, I'm the coach. I'm going to make my own choices. I'm very interested in what the mechanics of this Ole Miss football team look like. Just from, are we punting? What are we doing on this play? What's the goal on this? Like, I am just so interested in what that team looks like.
Yeah, I think you end up seeing a very conservative game plan. That's typically what you'll see out of a defensive coordinator being the head guy, a defensive minded coach. And they can win this game just by spamming Keywan Lacey and Trinidad Chambliss on the ground. I think that's kind of what you see in this one. It's not going to be exciting. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to be high flying. Jake Retzloff is not good enough. There's no weapons on the Tulane side. Like Shaz Preston, the failed Alabama recruit, is their best weapon on the outside. They're pretty bad at wide receiver. The run game is kind of doo-doo cakes. I mean, I think the defense was really what was holding it together. It was a nice soft landing spot for Ole Miss, and I think all of those problems come to a head, but those problems won't come to a head until the second round when they face a team more equipped to take advantage of them.
Georgia.
Yeah, Retzlaff is just not a good enough quarterback in the FCS to take advantage of that with the weaponry around him. You put some better weaponry around him. Like, I think North Texas would have been a much scarier opponent for Ole Miss than this Tulane team is, from the standpoint that that offense can put up so many points. And I don't know that Tulane's equipped to play a more of a shootout game where Ole Miss just tries to ground and pound and Tulane's going to have to put up points. I think they just play keep away on Tulane.
Yeah, I do think this is another scenario where if Ole Miss does play too conservative, look, the place is going to be jumping, right? That's going to be the whole thing. It's a home game, playoff game. We've got to show the world that Lane didn't take everything from us. We're just as good. But if they are too conservative and Tulane can bow up and force punts, um, this is absolutely a spot where this thing could turn into a mayhem position, where the home crowd is just so anxious. We should be beating the hell out of this team. Oh God, did it all really fall apart like this kind of situation?
I like the under 56.5 in this one, actually. I think that conservative nature of the defense, a defensive player, guy being the head man, I think that the under 56.5 feels pretty good there. I don't know that they cover the 17.5. They likely are. But I did you notice the interview with John Summerall where he was talking about recruiting the Tulane guys to come with him and taking recruits? He kind of said, like, I'm not going to talk to or ask any of those guys to come with me. If they go into the portal and they're good enough to be a player at Florida, then I'll talk to them. But if they're not and they don't decide to go in the portal, I'm not going to tell any of them to go into the portal to come with me, which stark contrast to Kurt Signetti, but it also tells you where he is with that team by comparison to the talent level on that Florida team, which is just absolutely loaded. What's up, Darren?
Hello, Darren. um, yeah. So I mean, for me, just top to bottom, it's Bama. I'm willing to take Miami here. I'll take Ole Miss and I'll take Oregon.
Yeah, I would take Bama. I'll take A&M just because I think Carson Beck does something stupid. And the last time he played in Texas, he did throw that interception that was at the goal line in overtime.
One, yeah.
Yep, and then Ole Miss, and I'll take Oregon to. I'm projecting. I probably should just bet Oregon minus the 21.5, and then I'd be happy with anything under it. In fairness, all right. Elephant in the room. You know, Sharon Moore. I've never seen a coach get arrested, so that's impressive.
He was already fired by that point. We've seen former coaches arrested.
Ward Manuel should have been the one getting fired, but still, you know, because he's been through the Jawan Howard deal, he went through this deal, he's been through the Stallions deal.
Went to my high school.
He's kind of current Joe Oliva, you know, he's kind of the Joe Oliva of current college football. Scandal follows him around. What do you think? What do you think the head coach is at Michigan? Because they've been left out. Now, I don't want to touch this one with a 10-foot pole, but I am, you know, they did talk about what happens if he had beaten Ohio State for the 5th straight time. Do they just not say anything and nothing comes out? Like, that's possible.
I don't know, but man.
This is too far gone for anything not to come out about it.
Yeah.
But I wonder who the head coaching candidate ends up being. I think some of these guys that, because they didn't have to pay a buyout, some of these guys that signed these extensions, they can buy out. So, you know, Rhett Lashley could be a potential option. I think Glenn Schumann would fit them very well, the Georgia defensive coordinator. McCarthy just whiffed on Naylor wide open over the middle. But I mean, there's a ton of viable options. I think Matt Campbell would have taken this job had it been available when Penn State opened. When he took the Penn State job, he would prefer to have this Michigan job 10 times out of 10. He just pulled the trigger a hair too soon on it. I don't. Yeah, there's a couple guys I've heard. Rumor has it Bryce Underwood and Andrew Marsh are following Dillingham online now. And so there's smoke on CJ Ham with a little tutty. You don't get to see the Hamburglar with a touchdown very often. So if they're following Dillingham, why? Because they never were recruited by Arizona State before. That's suspicious. I think Dillingham would be a great hire. You know, I wonder if Georgia Tech guy, Brent Pry, what is that? Brent Key. He's an option. Like Buster Faulkner now being gone. That's a big news item. Buster Faulkner was probably the key to that offense. So him being gone is going to hurt that program long term too. But I think Dillingham's the top option if he could pry him away.
Yeah, I feel like that's the place they're trying to go. If they haven't already, uh, I know the immediate name was Kalen DeBoer. I don't buy it. I mean, look, if it happens, good for them. Obviously, he would rather just be in the Big Ten and not a fan of what he's dealing with at Alabama. Um, of course, the domino effect that would cause. I don't know. Jed Fish is another name that's been around. Given the
Mhm.
game just for them just happened yesterday, so their season is over, and he's kind of got the chance to kind of do whatever. I know Florida was rumored to have hit him on the board as well. Yeah, I don't know. It's the domino effect of things. I could also see them. What was the coordinator that followed Harbaugh to the Chargers?
He has a show cause too. I don't know why everybody keeps saying him. He has a show
Okay,
cause.
all right. Well, there you go.
Jesse Mentor. Jesse Mentor still has the show cause too. So
There you go.
he's not eligible to come back.
So I mean, I really don't know. I mean, obviously at this point, Michigan's in a position to take someone's coach. Um, was who's my guy that Kentucky took the OC over at
Will Stein,
Will
banger,
Stein? Yeah,
banger for hire.
I you know, I don't know if there's another Will Stein, another coordinator type of guy to come up like that that's around. I really don't know. They're gonna have to take
Miami,
someone's coach.
Miami's offensive coordinator is
Shannon
the
Dawson,
other
is
one.
that
Yeah.
the name?
No. It should be something else. Is it Shannon Dawson? It might
Oh,
be Shannon Dawson.
we'll sit here and watch you Google
Yeah,
to
it's
see what.
Shannon Dawson.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shannon Dawson. Good pull. Good pull. I don't know why I was thinking something different. No, I
Okay.
think Dillingham. So if I'm Dillingham, right? So Jed Fish. Sorry, this side. Jed Fish has a guy. He's got a quarterback, and he's a damn good one. So I don't see him leaving him. But Dillingham, however, has now lost Sam Levitt, who's now in the portal,
Yep.
and I got figured that out because he wasn't at the team
Yeah, he
wrap
missed
up meeting.
the team
Yeah, so
end
I
of
got
year.
that one, and then Jordan Tyson is also gone. So now he's got no Scattaboo, no Jordan Tyson, no Sam Levitt. They don't have money. He's fully admitted they don't have NIL funding that they need in order to do it. So at what point do you go, all right, I'm just gonna bounce? Like I'm playing against Texas Tech now, who's got an unlimited budget. I think Dillingham probably this is his time to cash this in now that Levitt's gone and Levitt's in the portal. He's available. So I think you could see Dillingham go to Michigan, grab Underwood, grab your Andrew Marsh. I think they add a wide receiver. There is some dang good wide receivers in the portal. I still wish Cam Coleman would enter the portal, but I don't think it's going to happen now with Golesh. They're going to need a quarterback this cycle. I think that's the obvious Sam Levitt landing spot is Auburn. And boy, would that be fun.
So what are you doing with Byron Brown?
I don't know, man. I think if they can get Byron Brown, great. Like I think Byron Brown's good, but I think Levitt is a different level over Byron Brown. So yes, I think Byron Brown is an option, but very clearly he hasn't even said that he's in the portal. He hasn't necessarily said that he's coming back to school or anything. They've talked to him.
I know USF's AD. He's been very public with that stuff about Byron Brown. I mean, to me, it just reads like he's gone. I mean, maybe Heartline and the gang are pulling together something to keep him, but I really don't see how he. I mean, if he's not going to play in the bowl game, I feel like he's gone.
Man, I will tell you that. So along those lines, I have a bone to pick with ESPN because I was complaining about this the other day, and I'm going to keep complaining about it. They were previewing all the bowl games, and I'm like, awesome. This is going to be good. I'm going to watch this little bowl preview. They said one of the best quarterback matchups in all of the bowl games is Old Dominion taking on South Florida. That is, in fact, one of the best matchups of a bowl game if the two quarterbacks were playing. But Colton Joseph's already in the portal, and Byron Brown is de facto coaching in that game. He said he's coaching, not playing. So now, no, like you just sold a bed of lies to everybody to try to get them to watch a game where neither quarterback is going to play in this thing. And I think it would have been a great game, but nonetheless, neither one's playing. And I think Colton Joseph's going to end up being the John Mateer of this year, where he goes somewhere probably pretty decent and doesn't quite live up to what we think he's going to be able to do. But yeah, I think Sam Levitt. I think Auburn is going to make a monster splat. Thank you, Myron. Myron is a man after my heart. Says the Hawaii Bowl has the best quarterback matchup. It does. Micah Alihado. What more could you ask for on Christmas Eve than Jeremiah Sagapatele against Micah Alihado? And I will tell you, Myron, that is my favorite bet of all of bowl season is Cal laying the points against my Hawaii on Christmas Eve. It's 2.5. Did I get it at 1.5, Brian, or what was it the other day? Maybe it was 1.5. But anyway, I laid it. I laid the points. I think that's a hell of a good game because Cal does not have anybody that scares me, and you get Cal with their head coach, de facto head coach for that game, formerly was one of the coaches at Hawaii. I think it's a blast of a game, though. But yeah, I fully agree. I think the portal's heating up, though. The portal is heating up, and I do think Dillingham ends up at. I don't think it's going to end up being Kalen DeBoer. Although I would find it absolutely hilarious and extremely tilting if DeBoer left and then Kiffin left and went to Alabama. It would be one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Well, so the thing there is. The coaching staff has all signed, like all the coaching staffs have signed deals that say if they leave for a different job, they owe the school like a time at like one point. They'd have to buy out an entire coaching staff of LSU's thing to bring them up. I don't see how it's possible. I get the idea of like Kiffin's a whore, and so that's just what it is. And like I get that my school is laying in bed with the prostitute. I can't be surprised if and when she eventually leaves to go find another man. But for now, I don't see how it's possible. I just don't.
It's not. Okay. It's not.
If
it's
he leaves,
fun. It's fun speculation to have.
If DeBoer does go to Michigan, I think we're looking at Alabama head coach Mark Stoops.
No, actually, the thing I had heard is that maybe Michigan might want to stopgap for a year, or maybe they want to just like do something for a little bit.
Do the Andrew Luck thing?
Do they bring in Brian Kelly?
Well, if you're going to bring in Brian Kelly, you'd bring in Brian Kelly like as a full-time coach.
Well, you can't bring in Biff Poggi. You can't waste a year of Underwood, and Underwood was already committed to Brian Kelly. So maybe you would able to stopgap it with Brian Kelly, give him a 1-year deal and say, hey, prove it to us that you got it. I mean,
well, he's already got $54 million. I don't know what he needs a 1-year deal to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd take it because it'd save LSU money, but sure, let's do it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's interesting. I think there's a lot of pieces. We still have a lot of guys that are going to enter the portal here soon. And the portal is already slinging right now.
Yeah, it's very active.
Yeah. Number one. So who right now, if you had to pick one guy in the portal that you'd want your team to sign, that's a skill player, let's just say a wide receiver, running back,
currently in the portal.
Yep. Currently in the portal, quarterback, running back, or a wide receiver. You want one guy. Who you got?
I mean, I text you my dude from San Jose State.
Danny Scudero. That'd be a fun one. Yeah, I like Danny Scudero. I added him to my list.
I mean, I'd have to look. I mean, do you have off the top of your head? I'd have to look it up, man. But the thing is, so as an LSU fan, my school very clearly needs a quarterback. Like it's just it's clearly as obvious, clear as day. That's a thing that they have to get.
All right, so I'm going to list off. I have the top 7 quarterbacks, in my opinion, in the portal right now. Sam Levitt's the number 1. That's the obvious answer. Colton Joseph, Kenny Minchie, Dylan Lonergan. Dylan Lonergan. I thought he actually played pretty good for BC last year. Braden Fowler Nicolosi, who formerly had a 7-figure deal on the table and stayed at Colorado State. Nico Marchiol from West Virginia. And then my sleeper quarterback is 1,000% Jaden Craig of Harvard. Pretty nasty. He played with Cooper Barkate. He's pretty good. So, but yeah, I mean, Levitt is the obvious answer that you'd want at LSU. Although I'm still a Van Buren guy. I like Van Buren. I think he's a good player if you put him in a good system.
I'm interested in if Trinidad Chambliss gets extra eligibility. Honestly, I mean, for me, it'd be if I could pick any player out of the country. I mean,
Arch Manning,
K'Wan Lacey, what you doing, baby?
No, you're. Oh, I like him, but I like Ahmad Hardy a lot too. Although, hey, Drinkwitz could be an option at Michigan as well. We keep forgetting that Eli could be a possibility.
It's just the same list of teams before. That's just it's the same it's the same coaches who somehow
It's the same
never
coaches
didn't
for
get hired
everyone
last
because they
year.
haven't gone
The
anywhere.
same crew,
Yeah.
none of them got hired from the first round. We're all walking around going, "Hey, you want these
So,
guys?"
so for my
Here.
money, I think there is two wide receivers right now that I would want over anybody in the portal currently. Number one, Nick Marsh. He's I think he's the best player in the portal for my money. The kid's an absolute freak, and he just played on an awful Michigan State team. Darren, you should be elated if you get my personal hero, my favorite player in all of college football. He is not in the portal yet. If he goes in the portal, I would vouch for that man. And I think he's Baker Mayfield. That's my comp. I think the kid's a stud. Rocco Becht on Penn State immediately vaults them into national championship consideration. That's where I'm at with that.
Chris likes Rocco Becht more than his own parents like Rocco Becht.
Yes, Anthony Becht has nothing on me when it comes to Rocco. Rocco's my favorite player in the country.
What a rough day for Brandon
Dude,
Aubrey, huh?
That's because I rostered him in DFS. That's the problem. I shouldn't have done it. I did it anyway. Hey, did you know he doesn't get points for running? He got like a 6-yard carry and he didn't get any points for it. That's ridiculous.
That doesn't seem right.
Yeah, I think Rocco would be great there. I mean, he's going to be better than Grunkenmeyer. Like Rocco's probably going to leave anyway. I think him going. I said that him and Campbell were a package deal no matter what. Personally, I think Nick Marsh is the best player in the portal, but Jackson Harris from Hawaii. Did you get to see him play much? He's 6'3", long speed on that kid. Long speed. He's so good. I think it's Nick Marsh 1, Jackson Harris 2, and those are the top two impact wide receivers on the market for me, and I'm extremely interested in each. To Myron's point, I think Virginia's going to have to go get a running back with Jamari Taylor gone. And then Virginia's really going to be at the mercy. I'm surprised Tony Elliott didn't try to take another job because I think they're just going to be absolutely doo-doo next year. No, see, Myron thinks Mestamaker's going to Miami. I think Miami buys another quarterback, 1,000%. You really think Mestamaker's not going to Oklahoma State after he was a walk-on? He didn't start a high school game? He never started a high school game. He just happened to be a walk-on at North Texas. They saw him practice or something.
Just had a great practice. Good. I just loved his practice so much.
So they were scouting Miles Coleman, who's their slot wide receiver. I like one of my favorite wide receivers in the G5. And they were scouting Miles Coleman. They went to high school together, and they got wind of Mestamaker. Mestamaker ended up being a preferred walk-on. And that's how he ended up landing there. And then he kind of broke out in the bowl game last year. Right now is when you watch these bowl games for these guys that are going to break out. And that's where you're going to kind of find out some of this stuff. Granted, some of them are going to be false advertisements, such as what was that kid last year for Miles Coleman? Was that Miles Coleman, the San Jose State kid from who took over for Nick Nash? I thought he was going to be big this year, and it ended up being Scudero who got the job. But yeah, I think, do you have a, so we know the bracket, right?
Yeah.
Who is coming out and playing in the national champion? Or let's just pick through a bracket. Let's pick through the bracket. All right. So we know kind of where we're going. I'm actually curious to see where you go.
How do I get my bracket predictor here? All right, here we go.
I'm actually curious to see where you go on this. Yeah, I love DeMond Williams. DeMond Williams is crazy good. That's why I don't think Jed Fish leaves. All right, so we know you think Oregon beats JMU, which I do too.
Oregon, Bama,
Oregon,
Ole Miss,
Texas Tech,
Miami.
I think Oregon, Texas Tech is the game of the week. The week after. I don't know. I'm torn on that one because I think Oregon is really, really good. I want to pick Texas Tech. So I'm riding. I can't. My original Rocco Becht is there, and it's Bayron Morton, and I can't go against Bayron. He was my bay for a long time, so I gotta ride with my boy. Alabama, Indiana.
IU.
Alabama, Indiana. Oh my goodness, Signetti. How many points does Signetti run up on the board against Alabama? Given that he was at Alabama at one point, does he run the score up?
He certainly could.
I think he does. I think he runs the score up on him. I think he tries to embarrass Alabama.
So I would go Tech, Indiana. I think Georgia beats the Ole Miss team.
Yeah.
I think
The juggernaut.
I think Ohio State's the best team in the country.
I still do. All right, so now you got.
they're going to go back. Are they going to go back to back? See, that's the thing. But it doesn't matter. It's independent years. It doesn't matter what they did last season.
Myron,
I took the top 4 seeds. Boy, I love Tech. I really love Tech.
I think Ohio State plays Texas Tech in the national championship.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to do, and I'm going to take Ohio State to win it.
I am too. Gosh dang it. You're the exact same page as me. I can't help it. I'll be pumped if Indiana plays Texas Tech in that semifinal Peach Bowl game. Like, I'm going to be stoked because I love both of those teams, which means I get one of them in the final either which way. So, and then realistically, that whole game comes down to, is Bayron Morton healthy or not? If he's healthy and stays and plays the whole game, they got a legit shot to win. I really do want. Well, I think I'm confirming my priors by saying I want Texas Tech to play against Ohio State in the national championship, because I said that 2 months ago. I thought Texas Tech could play in the national championship, and if Will Hammond was healthy, I'd pick them on 1,000%. It's just there is no Will Hammond in it. That scares me. So I don't know, but we get some big boy games next weekend, and I'm excited to get to watch them all. Ideally, I think it'd be hilarious if we got one upset, and not saying Alabama over Oklahoma is an upset. I mean, we need a JMU or a Tulane win for it to be an upset, and that would be awesome if we get either one of those teams to win. I don't care even if it's Tulane. We could lose by 60, and if Tulane wins, I think it's hilarious that one of the G5 teams won. I'll be rooting for one of them. Hopefully, I'll root for both of them in each game, but I think Kewan Lacey absolutely destroys Tulane. Even though he had a terrible game against them the first time. I think he had like 20 carries for 60 yards, 59 yards maybe. But yeah, I think that's where we'll go, and we'll at least get to talk about that next weekend, more than likely, assuming Ryan's available, hopefully. And we'll get to talk about that stuff. And yeah, I'll have stuff all week talking bowl games. We got an awesome game, a clash between Troy and Jacksonville State on Tuesday night. So we'll break down a little showdown slate, even though I'm absolutely crap at showdown. I've won a few, but yeah, but
yeah, they're never close. That's so annoying.
That's the thing. I think it was, I actually had this stat the other day. They're going to whine and complain that the playoff games aren't close. I think it was like 7 out of the last 11 national championship games have been decided by more than 28 points. It's like none of them, they're never close. None of the games are close. So, it's just, the top is always far better than the bottom. Look, we get 2 really good games this week. We get definitely on paper, Alabama, Oklahoma should be a close game, and Miami, Texas A&M should be a close game. And then we'll see what the round of 8 holds. Realistically, Ohio State's just going to wax whoever they play against. And then my game of the year is probably going to end up being Oregon, Texas Tech. I think that's probably going to end up being one of the best games we see all year long in the Orange Bowl. I think it would be great. So, yeah, man.
See you next week.
That's right. We'll wrap it up. We'll start talking. We'll talk ball next week, and I'll have bowl game coverage for you all week long. Hopefully try not to lose too much money at the end of the season.